So hello and welcome people back to the level 10 of Pandemonium, the Canopy Village. And there's something I think I forgot to mention completely in this playthrough so
This,
far. Have you noticed how this is a PS1 game, right?
yeah, it's like that Barbie game.
Yeah, and have you noticed that it has like no loading times in the levels at all, ever?
In the levels, yeah, sure.
It only has a loading time whenever you go into a new stage, and it's only very
Yeah.
brief. They actually specifically made it so that each time you get into a checkpoint, it is a point of no return, and they just load out the rest of the stage in the background. And here is one of the most soul-crushingly difficult platforming sections in this game. One of them, not the most. And I have no idea how you would ever be able to do this without using Nikki.
Oh, yeah, if you didn't have the double jump. I was just about to say, with the double jump, it's not so bad.
Now, this isn't required, I should say. This is for an optional thing, and that is a life extension.
Yeah, because you fell down the thing.
And that is a life extension, and it's still possible to actually miss it at this point. This is where you get it. If you miss it at any other point in time, and now we are turtle. If you miss it at any other point in time, like any jumps on that whole leaf thing, you just get sent straight into the turtle section.
All right, let me explain why I said what there. In order to get that life extension, you just basically had to accept the fact that you were falling to your death, but then know that you wouldn't die.
Well, no. Whenever there is something, whenever they expect you to do any kind of leap of faith, they actually put a marker, like they put an arrow that points towards the ground, and it's like, yeah, you can jump there. They never do any of this shit where it's just like, oh, you're supposed to know that this pit is not
like Tomb Raider.
Exactly. Well, no, with Tomb Raider it was more of a case of, is there? Well, no, Tomb Raider had a lot of death traps, a bit too many death traps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't talked about the turtle. His abilities are fairly boring.
Wait, is the turtle supposed to be a separate character, or is it supposed to be your character polymorphed?
Your character polymorphed. It actually makes absolutely no difference whether or not you're Nikki or Fargus when you turn into the turtle. The abilities are exactly the same. And Turtle's abilities are, as you would expect, Turtle can hide into his shell, and he becomes invulnerable. And you do that by pressing downwards. Which for this
does he move along while you do that? Does he like skid?
Actually, it stops him dead in the tracks. You can't actually you actually specifically can't move when you do that.
And you can't collect things either.
Yes, you just pass right
Terrible.
through things.
Very unfulfilling.
Yeah, I feel that part actually wasn't necessary. Because they could have easily.
What was that? What did you edit out, Nico? Did you edit out when?
Many of the deaths, yes.
Oh, okay.
Many
That's some behind the scenes magic for all of the people watching this. Nico dies sometimes.
This is one of the meanest sections. And look at the background here. This background is beautiful.
It is very nice. But it is also a little dizzying because of the way it's interlaid. And the way your camera's turning around. Yeah.
But yeah, this is another piece of that. Like we're gonna go there next. Like there are a few of these stages which are themed after a like logging, and this section can go fuck itself.
It's trying to teach you about how unfair the logging practices are to the noble redwoods, sequoias.
Like the whole idea with these, it may be this section, it may be some section later on, but these logs just come at a completely random intervals. It's another level I'm thinking of. But yeah, there is a section where you have to climb, a tree. See, this is the stage that we saw in the background there.
Huh, it looks incredibly like a stage from Claw. Coming as soon as I finish all of the MechWarrior series.
Good. And there was a thing that I should have picked up, and I will after I get.
But you were going too fast and having too much fun.
Definitely.
You're not allowed to have fun in these games. You have to go at a snail's pace.
I really don't know why they even gave it to you right there, because usually when they give you the armor, that means you have a section where they just pile on enemies one on top of the other, and I missed the hang.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Even if you had gone forward as quickly as possible, you wouldn't have hit a good point for the armor.
Yeah, there really was like no good use for it, so kind of pointless on my side to even try to collect it. But yeah, here also demonstrating you can go up actually most of the waterfalls, no issue. And I absolutely hate the yellow guys, because they can actually shoot you off the screen. Like, they don't even need to be visible on the screen for them to start shooting at you, and their shots can fire at various arcs.
Well, you gotta remember, Nico, that they actually were always being rendered. It's just that your screen couldn't handle them.
Well, no, the usual PS1 rules is if it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist, and I prefer it that way. Generally.
Why do the buzzsaws not cut through their log?
Yeah, especially since like if it was some sort of a like they put two wheels, and in the middle, that would make that would have made a lot more sense. But this way, it's just like, why isn't it cutting?
Those are some very terrible saws. They just don't do their job well.
Yeah, they can only cut through skin.
And I mean, anyone can do that. I do that all the time.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I hate that purple guy now. I thought he was doofy and funny at first,
But
and now I hate him. Yeah.
That sound he makes, yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, at the very least, you can actually, like, yes, that sound is kind of annoying, but at the very least, you can actually hear it coming from a mile away, so you can expect that he's coming. And unlike the yellow dude,
And murder him.
yeah, like you can react to it in time. The yellow dude, on the other hand, he really doesn't make any noticeable sound aside from shooting the flies. And at that point, well, you're already looking out for the flies that are coming from somewhere that you can't even see.
Nico.
So, yes. God damn it. God damn it, Bobby.
Go on.
But yeah, this placement is also pretty mean. This is for what we have Fargus for.
Yeah, I guess I would say for that placement, it's the sort of thing where any additional amount of latency you're encountering makes it incredibly more difficult.
Actually, that isn't exactly as much of a problem in this game as it is with many 3D games at the time. Because this one actually doesn't have any noticeable or major frame rate issues. It usually runs at a very steady 30 frames
But you're playing this on an emulator, right?
No, this is on the PlayStation 1.
Oh.
I'm playing this on the PlayStation 1 with RGB cables and upscaled with
He's
my
playing
medical.
completely legit, Sony. Don't sue him.
Yeah, I'm playing it completely legitly on with a burnt copy of the American version of this game.
Nico, you can't tell them that. They're gonna sue you.
I mean, I would have actually gotten this on PSN if I wasn't if I didn't have a. Besides, I already bought this game like twice already in the past.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying that Mr. Sony hates it when anyone ever uses anything without his expressed written consent.
But
oh wait, he's not Nintendo.
yeah, I will. Yeah, I thought you mistook Nintendo for Sony. They don't give
Anyway.
They don't give a fuck.
Also, you don't get any money for this, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Well, no, I actually kind of do, but not for this, but for the long play version.
Well, that's true. They could sue all those 12 cents off of you.
Yeah, all those 12 cents.
That half of the cheapest thing you could possibly get from a vending machine is gone now. Also, we're in some sort of logging house.
Yeah.
What is this, Skyrim? There's a bunch of logging houses in Skyrim.
Yeah, I remember. You make a lot of daggers in them.
You make a lot of daggers, well, actually kind of in them, yeah. I was going to say adjacent to them, but then I thought back and I'm like, no, you're pretty much right.
Yeah.
Them.
That's what you do. You just make daggers. That's what Skyrim is all about.
Skyrim is dagger maker, yeah. I mean,
I'm actually confused why they didn't call Skyrim Daggerfall.
Oh, got him. I will forever love that game.
Mm-hmm.
The glitches, man.
Yeah, derpy. Derpy alone.
I did call my my Breath of the Wild horse Derpy, but then or no, I called it Derpy 2. But then it didn't live up to the name.
Derpy, and then there was Derpy 2. And then there was probably more Derpies.
But my Breath of the Wild horse did not live up to the name.
Mm.
And so then I called another one Zelda 2, and that lived up to the name.
Yeah.
Can they stop with these fly noises, though?
I hate the yellow guys. I hate them, not just for the what they sound like, but for what they do all the time.
It's not even. Sorry. That you need the yellow guys. It's just whenever the flies are on screen.
Oh yeah, those flies as well. Yeah.
Which in Spyro you love because they're health. Oh wait, no, it's your little buddy that gets you the health from the butterflies. But in this
placement of the heart of the heart replenisher is just devilish.
Yes, delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Exactly.
We're gonna go through a lot of that whenever I get to Claw. Claw is the stupidest, dumbest game in that term.
Yeah,
because there's so many.
Place the heart your health replenisher on top.
Place
of the
an extra life over a bottomless pit. It's like, or even better. Oh, you died. I do like that animation though.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I showed off the Fargus one, and now I have the Nicki one. But yeah, that.
Is it Nicki Minaj?
Not sure.
Nico doesn't know who Nicki Minaj is. Hey, everybody in the comments, tell Nico who Nicki Minaj is.
But yeah, that placement when you enter that checkpoint area is absolutely mean, because they put you on a treadmill, like right at the end of a treadmill, going straight into a freaking saw. And now
so if you're not paying attention when you respawn, you're just gonna die again.
Exactly, you're just gonna die immediately. And then the actual spawn point for the checkpoint is in a pretty reasonable place. It's like they knew they were doing bullshit.
I hate these guys so much. Go ahead.
And now we have another turtle section. Turtle is actually pretty much perfect for this.
Turtle. Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Thankfully,
I'm making a Master of Disguise reference. The best piece of cinema ever.
sadly, the turtle cannot jump very far, but they never make any of the jumps too difficult. Also, there's one piece of design that I really hate about the bugs. Not just from the standpoint of their like them making weird sounds that are incredibly annoying. Bugs can move, and usually when in these sorts of games, if you have an enemy that has like different movement patterns, they should look different. The flies that can move don't.
When did Pandemonium come out?
It's like 1996. It was very early PlayStation.
Alright, it gets a pass then.
Yeah, like this sort of thing was kind of, and it's really just that enemy type that does it, because like any other enemy type has a fairly static movement pattern. Like the yellow guys, they can move. That's just expected from them. They react to your position. The purple ones, they just walk back and forth all the time, and the pink ones, they just move. They just walk up to you and attack you with a sword. So, like, their movement pattern. Same with spiders. Their movement patterns are pretty predictable, or rather, exactly what you would expect them to be. And here we have another
They're the
boss.
different shells of Koopas.
So, this boss fight is actually pretty fun. You have to inflate the balloon that's over there, and wait for him to come near you, which is not always too
But
easy.
you didn't
because
inflate the balloon, you just ran around until the fire got underneath it.
no. You have to move the lever over here by jumping next to it. See? I did that right at the start, and wait for the fire to go over there and jump on top of it. You don't actually need to wait for it to inflate it completely, and you jump on top of him.
Of the ow there.
What are you doing? But yeah, you have to wait for him to get reasonably close.
What are you doing up there?
Because otherwise you're just not gonna fly far enough to reach him.
He's like the rock biter level of
Rockbiter?
voice acting. Never-ending story.
Ding.
These are good, strong hands. I can't do a rock biter voice.
And now he's faster. But thankfully we have enough health to tank it even if we do get hit. Which shouldn't happen too much either way, because he stops for a brief period of time before he actually executes any kind of attack. Although I do wish that the camera angle was a little bit more helpful with this. Like, actually angle towards where he is, as opposed to seemingly random direction whenever you're walking.
You murdered him.
Exactly.
Do you feel good about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Because now we're at the 13th level, Hancho's airship. And that was Hancho, by the way.
Okay. I guess all I was going to say was
And this is one
these
of the...
boss fights really do remind me of Jackie Chan Adventures.
A bit, but I would still say they are way better.
Yeah. Well, not way better. Slightly better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the most absolutely confusing pieces of this game, simply because of how they mess around with the use of multiple planes. And here, that key gives us the armor, and we need the armor to actually go right down there into this hearth, which will put us right straight into here.
More of a kiln, really.
Yeah. And then we have to jump very randomly until we get this heart container. I do
That's
not
what
know.
I call fun interactive gameplay.
Like, I don't know how you are expected to get this if you're ever going to use Fargus. Fargus has such little use in this game. It's kind of even with me using the cheat code to have him available at any point in time, like, he still does not get too much use because his abilities just simply make.
He's supposed to be comic relief, and that's it. That's his job.
I also imagine that you would be able to go into that into the fire and actually get sent straight into that, even if you didn't have the armor. But the problem is, I imagine that if you didn't collect the key beforehand, you wouldn't actually get the heart container in there. But I wasn't adventurous enough to keep resetting until I found out.
What you're saying is you hate everyone who watches your videos.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care enough. You don't care about them enough.
I mean, okay, so like, there is one.
So it's all my
guy-
fault. My name is Nico.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I hear you.
There is one guide for this game, and it's wrong when it comes
That's
to.
something that always kind of weirds me out. Is when there's only one version of a game, so it's not a version difference, and someone's
Actually,
published a guide.
There are several versions of this game, but like, that guide was specifically for the first release, which was identical across both Saturn, PS1, and PC version. Yes, this was also on PC, but just, stick
What?
with the PS1 version.
Why were you a dragon?
Because I went, I
yearn
polymorphed
to
into a
fly
dragon.
in a land apart with all our heart.
But dragon is probably one of the most fun polymorphs that you get in this game. You
It's
automatically
Donkey Kong Country 2, where you turn into the bird.
yes, except that you also breathe fire, and you don't actually need the magical ability in order to do so.
Yeah, well, the bird in Donkey Kong Country 2 spat rocks.
It's not fire.
It's true.
And now the interesting part about this is this is like one of the two things that actually use the special button in this game.
What's the
the
special
other one-
button?
A special see,
L2?
you have- no. It is the circle button. Circle button is what you use in order to initiate Fargus's twirly attack. And the dragon fire, because the dragon fire is completely independent from your magical shot. You can actually still have the magical shot and the dragon fire.